demands. I'm speaking on demands number 54, 55, 68 and 58. First, I will speak on demand number 54, which is town planning. Goa is a land blessed with abundant beauty, from rivers to hills, beaches, forests to fields, for small houses and heritage houses. Goa, everyone knows, is magical. Mental frame of anyone who comes to Goa changes. Delhi and Mumbai are choking. With cities like this being totally overpopulated, people are making a beeline to either buy lands or capture lands in Goa. Earlier, there was a craze to buy land along the beach or on the beach belt. Today, the demand is to seek lands in forests, in hill slopes, including no development slopes and other untouched areas. The kind of development invading our beautiful Goa will end up in us Goans suffering a paradise lost. Honorable Speaker, the hills and forests are sacred. Our forefathers left them untouched. Many of these places have religious importance. We should not touch these lands to be changed for a few to enjoy at the cost of destruction of economy and the local ecology and local village. When a street bill came up for discussion in the House, I particularly mentioned my apprehensions and fears because they were speaking about abandoned houses, and I was asking what is the definition of abandoned houses, because this I felt was a big land grab. Situation has deteriorated with certain politicians becoming real estate developers, behaving unethically and misusing their position. Let me make it clear. I'm not against anybody being into real estate, not even politicians. But when they behave unethically and unfairly, that is the time when we need to work out. I'm not into real estate, Honorable Speaker. I'm not a broker, and I'm not a lawyer for the real estate companies. But when certain politicians attempt to spread false rumors to suggest as if I have a hand in such accelerated rate of development, especially in my constituency, I need to nip this in the bud. Our ex-MLA, who is not just into real estate but a broker and agent to pass files of non-Goans, seeks to accuse me of being a broker and trying to settle old scores. And I think that this needs to be attended because this is totally third class. First, he puts a post on his employee's Facebook page claiming that I am trying to do something there. And then when there is no traction, he starts putting out himself WhatsApp messages from his own phone, which I'm just passing it out in several copies, to show that I am in league with the government as if I'm the broker who's setting out to finish the constituency. And I'm placing this on record so that this can be seen, so that I am very clear on it. This is a WhatsApp message, which you can see has gone from his own mobile in a Aldona Booth 24 Karyakarta group. One of the Punch members told me that he was pushing a file for 14 bungalows in survey number 122-1A in Moira. 14 villas were coming there. And in Aldona, when one Kaushik Banerjee had an issue with the Comunidad of Boa Esperanza, and for which Aldona Panchayat issued some notice or an order, who appears in that matter? None other than his son. I'm putting this also on record so that you can see the connection between these. What is more disturbing is, I have no problem if anybody, suppose I buy a plot of land, I will make it in my name and I will make applications for conversion, for construction licenses and all that. But when you try to hide behind a shield and you try to take over properties like this and try to get development by hiding behind a facade, I think that is something which people need to look at very carefully. I will place on record that he has now opened another company of real estate, please put this, where he has taken over some land in Bastora, where he is building a house of some Shamin Baptista. He's got a power of attorney, and he's got now a new partnership firm called TNS Holdings and Estate, where he's shown to be a partner of this firm. But all the licenses and the name of this Baptista, nothing is in his name. So this is what I want to say, that these kind of activities is not just by him, it is also many others are putting up a facade or showing the Goan names in the front and doing the development at the back. In addition, he himself has got his ex-PA who carries out works of all these non-Goan parties who are buying lands and destroying hills, forests, and our sacred places. Honorable Speaker, I have a little concern about certain developments which are taking place in our constituency. I will give a list to the Honorable Minister for his consideration. I have a list here, and I request the Honorable Minister to kindly look at list at serial number 10. I've given, one pass. Serial number 10. It shows the name of Aldrin Alberto Araújo y Suarez from Ararim Sucor, Porvorim, Bardez. His property survey number 79/2 at Ukasai, Bardez, which has natural cover with no development slope, and it is shown as a settlement with an area of 47,258 square meters. I want to show this Honorable House and the Honorable Minister the land, because this is the pattern in which the change of zone or correction of zone is sought to be made. Please look at these pictures which I'm showing, because this is densely forested area, and this is having a lot of vegetative trees, or forestry species. I'm showing pictures which shows before how it was. This land is exactly above Zagbai temple in Ukasai. And then they clear the forest, and then they apply for the permission. It was natural cover. I've given 2 pages, which is E, alphabet E, before on the top and down after the deforestation. And on the next page, I've indicated that it was natural cover with no development slope, and now it's made settlement. Zone change, area granted 47,258 square meters. I will tell this Honorable House that what is happening is people want to live on the top of the hills in forested areas. They feel that they get serenity, they get peace, they want to live with nature. But I think they are destroying the forests, and they are destroying nature, and they're destroying our villages. And this is the kind of thing, if we allow this to happen, I request the Honorable Minister to kindly look at it. Then there is another one in that same list which I had given, which is alphabet D. Please look at the list which is at serial number 14. Escalate Resorts Private Limited, care of Colin Curry, Donna Paula, North Goa. This is 24/1, plot C. Actually, it is A. I've seen the survey form. It is in my village of Porjuin. It belonged to the Rangel family, not me. And Orchard, which is made settlement, 26,260 square meters. And just one more above that, Anil Kumar Tyagi, that's in Moira, Bardez, but the land is 40/10A Palien, Bardez, Aldona, Orchard, which is made settlement 3850. Now, what I have shown, Honorable Speaker, is the land relating to the Zagbai temple, which is different from this 40/1A. Now, this land which of Mr. Tyagi also belonged to the Tiklo family, and now it is made from orchard to settlement. This is above the Zagbai temple. In Palien, there is one more land which has been asked for conversion, for zone change or correction, applied by Adelaide Fernandez. I will give that. Area is 13,200. It is no development slope which has been changed into settlement. I have no problem, Honorable Speaker, if genuinely some area was wrongly classified from one to another, and therefore you seek correction. But it's not like this, where I'm showing this to the Honorable House. Please look at this. This one shows clearly it's green, and here there is a deforestation. So you can see that this kind of things which happen and the no development slopes get cut, and then it becomes a problem. I have written certain letters to the Honorable, I'm giving this one of the Adelaide Fernandez. Can you just pass this?
Speaker, sir, honorable member, whatever he has given, all this have been denotified. All those in Pomburpa, whichever list has been given to me has been denotified. I'll share the list with you. I think
I'm very obliged. I'm very grateful.
Partly, whatever he has brought to mind, which was settlement, has been reversed. Because many times people give a wrong contour and it becomes very difficult to understand. So I've already done it. I've already notified as per what your letters I have received.
I'm obliged. I was going to actually refer to them. I'm very obliged. I won't have to need to speak about it in that Pomburpa area. There is one more which I have made a request, was about the temple area where there is a natural this thing. I would request Honorable Minister to inquire, because according to us that there is a fraud in that in the clearance which was obtained, technical clearance.
You just share with me the detail and depth.
I'll do that. I'll just pass them across.
Already mentioned.
I'll pass them across. I'm very much obliged. And having said this, I only request the Honorable Minister that, see, what has happened is, intentions may be good, but sometimes people misunderstand. I have known personally of people whose lands got blocked with the RPG 2021. They were earlier settlement and suddenly they were frozen as orchard and no development zones. So you may be right in doing the correction. So therefore, I'm only requesting if we can start the process of having the new RPG, whatever you can call it, whichever horizon period you want, because 2021 horizon is over. And therefore, I don't think that there should be a problem in starting the process. I'm not saying just do it immediately. Honorable Speaker, there is also one more thing which I want to point out to the House. We know what is happening, that about hill cutting. Why I mention about this hill cutting is this. I'm just showing this to the Honorable Minister. Just pass this. This minister already told me that he was aware about this Priol cutting of the thing. But my concern is not because you have taken action. My concern is how could this have gone on, because it's such a distance to which the hill cutting has taken place. It could not have happened without active connivance of some officers involved.
Why I'm standing up, because Honorable Member, I don't want to intervene, but today we sent the whole team to check. No permissions have been taken by TCP at all.
No, I don't dispute that part of it, no permission.
And we have filed an FIR also today on.
But see, the length of the cutting which has taken could
I know, but what happens is that the whole mechanism has to be changed.
Right.
I mean, we have got the powers up to limited. We can only file a FIR and stop up to that
Talati
point.
could have reported, but Talati has failed.
Nobody reported.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm pointing out. Because if it was something in 1 hour, gone is different. But this could not have happened in few hours. It has happened over days. So that's why I would like Honorable Minister to put some mechanism in place, even make the Talati responsible. Otherwise, you book him as to be this thing in it. Because otherwise, he doesn't report. Other things, somebody is building a house and all, they go and report immediately. Honorable Speaker, I will speak now on demand number 55, Municipal Administration. I request the government to stop giving extensions to officers in the municipal corporations or even the city corporation of Panaji. I'm told that one such employee was given an extension in Panjim, and I don't understand what was so specially, but I don't think people should be given unless there is like I can understand very high level officer was required, but not these kind of people who would be given such time of extension. There is one more thing which I want to point out. This is across the board, everybody has spoken, even Dr. Divya Rane has mentioned about regularization. And I want to tell you one thing, that I want to suggest to you legal framework. It's not that, because what happens is every time the file is processed, the law department and the bureaucracy comes up with all these kind of objections. And this I will point out, it's just not in the forest department, it is in every other place which comes. I will just pass this. Often we have the Uma Devi judgment of the Supreme Court, the Constitution bench being quoted to say that we cannot regularize these illegal appointments and these irregular appointments. But I want to point out, Supreme Court itself, in State of Punjab versus Bahadur Singh, which I'm passing this copy of the judgment, in Civil Appeal number 7347 of 2008. I will just read page 6, because this applies to everybody, it's not just to, please see page 6. They're quoting from Uma Devi judgment. However, it was furthermore opined. Do you get that?
Yeah.
On page 6. One aspect needs to be clarified. There may be cases where irregular appointments, not illegal appointments, as explained in so-and-so, and referred to in paragraph 15 above, of the duly qualified persons in duly sanctioned vacant posts might have been made, and the employees have continued to work for 10 years or more, but without the intervention of orders of courts or of tribunals. The question of regularization of the service of such employees may have to be considered on merits in the light of the principle settled by this court in the cases above referred to and in the light of this judgment. In that context, Union of India, the state governments and their instrumentals should take steps to regularize as a one-time measure the services of such irregularly appointed who have worked for 10 years or more in duly sanctioned posts but not under cover of court orders of court or of tribunals, and should further ensure that regular recruitments are undertaken to fill those vacant sanctioned posts that require to be filled up. And in case where temporary employees or daily wagers are now being employed, this process may be set in motion within 6 months. Why I'm showing this? Because it's Uma Devi does not bar it. Just as a one-time measure you can take, you can consider, because this will give relief to a lot of people who otherwise will be thrown on the road. Then after this, the Ministry of Personnel and Pensions, they brought out 2 circulars. I will just give them one behind the other, so I don't have to keep reading them, where they have considered the similar situation and another Supreme Court judgment. I won't read it because I don't want to repeat. But just to tell you that it can be done, even the Government of India has issued the directions for the purpose of regularizing. And in our Mapsa municipality, there are a lot of staff who are even there for 16 years. I know a lady who's there, who's waiting there in hope that she will be regularized, and she has got a family. So others also have families. And I think even that plea of Dr. Divya Rani was justified. And I request that please take this positively. If you push it, I think even the law department will concur with this opinion when there are Supreme Court judgments. There's one more thing I have got to point out, that there is no full-time chief officer at the Mapsa Municipal Council. Mapsa municipality is a Class A municipality, and no full-time chief officer hampers the work. I have no grievance about the chief officer, so you may keep him or you may send somebody else, but I would use a phrase, when master is away, the mice are at play. So therefore, nothing works and nothing will happen when we have these people. There's also a complaint which is very minor, but I would request the Honorable Minister to kindly make sure that the staff is at work at the municipality and that they're not doing jobs at the houses of councillors. Removal of encroachments has always been a hot issue. I understand sometimes it can affect some people who are in the political field, but when there are encroachments on the footpath, which obstruct traffic, obstruct pedestrian movement, because of them people have to come on the road, I think those have to be removed. The debris is not being removed because no timely desilting is taking place. You would have seen recently there was flooding in Bisholi which took place. That flooding might have been also, they say there's water from the dam which might have been released. I don't know, whatever the reason. But in the main market near the Shantadurga school and all, we saw flooding which was going on. So I think that certain directions for a timetable can be given. I know this time there was election, there was a problem, but if there's a timetable and if it's set in advance, code of conduct will not apply. Waste handling in Mapsa municipality also requires a proper look, because we have 2 wards in Mapsa municipality which come in Aldona constituency, and I think those 2 wards are being treated like orphans, and no proper waste collection is being done. So I request the government to kindly issue directions. I would also request that a common cadre, if possible, be made for municipal staff, so there's no stagnation and there's no corruption which can take place. As far as forest demands are concerned, number 68, only one thing I want to point out about this is tree cutting. When a person is applying for tree cutting permissions, there is no there is no uniformity in that kind of a reply. People go before the deputy collector and the words under the Tree Act are dangerously leaning or in ruinous condition. But if the Digambar Kamat, if the report of the forest officer is vague, it becomes a difficulty. I will just show you this. And I was informed by the forest department, now we are not giving. I don't think it should be correct to say now we are not giving. I'll just show you how this is. I'll just read it. It says the tree is standing at a distance of 13 meters from applicant compound wall and 22 meters from the applicant residential house. The tree is hanging over the electric power line. The tree is leaning towards applicant house. Finish, that's all. That's all. So, it becomes very difficult for the deputy collector to understand, is it dangerously leaning or it's not dangerously leaning? I understand ruinous. I remember a case from Neora, somebody had come to me. The tree actually had holes. And at that time, Mr. Parrikar was the chief minister of Goa. He directed, cut the tree. I challenged it. Everybody died. The owner of that house, Mr. Parrikar, everybody died. That tree is still standing till today. But it had holes. So, why I'm pointing out is sometimes it may not be. Just give me a little more time, I'll finish it. There is one more thing which I want to mention. The Forest Development Corporation, headed by Dr. Divya Rane, had done a wonderful cashew festival. And I must credit her for all the task and the force which she had put in, the effort. I attended that festival. It was a very beautiful festival. It brought out the local flavor of cashew, right from the uses of cashew to what it could be put to, and including the different kinds of spirits which could be made out of it, and how it could be used in the international market and in the local domestic markets. And I think that was something very good. I would request that if something can be replicated on these lines at our levels, at the village level, so that it can promote our local people who do these things and also showcase things which they can think of to promote the ideas. Another thing which I want is about afforestation. Honorable Speaker, you know that we have had forest fires or sometimes man-made fires which are causing destruction of the forest. I think the government should immediately implement a plan to restore these deforested lands, because sometimes there's a design which is there to make sure that the forest cover is disappearing, and then immediately after 2 years they apply for permission for development by saying no forest and therefore it should be settlement. There's one more thing which I want to request the Honorable Minister. There was a charge which my colleague Vijay Sardesai had spoken about, deforestation of Zuari land, and the claim was it was illegally removed from forest cover. I request the Honorable Minister, if it's possible, that a judicial inquiry should be initiated to ascertain this and to make recommendations in this behalf. I also have a proposal for modernization of the Forest Department, and you know that the 15th Finance Commission has a special fund of 500 crores for climate change mitigation to be utilized till 2026. I will not give very fanciful things, but at least fire towers, lookout towers can be put in sanctuaries, wildlife sanctuaries, which would cost about 2.5 crores each, and a total of 12.5 crores can be put aside for it. Night vision goggles for forest guards, if you don't yet have it, those could be, which I think cost about, I was just checking on the net, about 2 lakhs per goggle. About 2 crores you may require to spend on that. Firefighting drones, I won't say which name, but there are firefighting drones which have got thermal lenses, cameras, and I would request if you can buy that, because I think you can even buy one and just keep it, then you can use it in different places, because we won't have these fires everywhere unless they start increasing. And there is one small concern I have got. It may be small, but for someone else big. Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Minister may be aware that there was one person who attempted to commit suicide in the Forest Department, and he was in the hospital. I would request to kindly look into that. What have been the problems which these people at the lower level are facing? You may not be aware at this top level, but to ascertain the kind, sometimes the pressures which are being put on them by certain officials or officers, and therefore you should look into it. And my last demand is number 58, only 2 points I want to speak about. Anganwadis, I would request that the condition of Anganwadis, you may request your director to kindly go and inspect it so the children are safe, because sometimes the buildings which house these Anganwadis are not in good conditions. Now you know that Anganwadi teachers are also being brought under the national education policy. So they are also being brought in the foundational stage. I would request that these Anganwadi teachers be given the proper training required in the NEP, so that, and keep them as far as possible with all the training you give them, so they can have a permanent kind of a security in their job. And finally, the nutritious food which is being given to these children. Women earlier, which was mentioned by, I think, Delilah, that earlier it was being given, actual food was given and now in plastic packets. I request that also to be attended. I am obliged.